Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Superman and Lois, and this is going to be my review for episode 5, otherwise entitled The Best of Smallville. Of course, spoiler alert, if you've not watched the episode, go away, come back, the general stuff. But of course, this is the last episode until, well, for a while. We have about a 2-month break. It's about 7-8 weeks or something until episode 6 airs, because after this week, Supergirl replaces Superman and Lois for I think up to episode 7 of that show's final season. So they didn't end on the biggest cliffhanger for that stretch of time, but they left on a decent thing that can get us thinking. But yeah, we're gone for about 2 months from Superman and Lois, even though we've only had it for about a month. So it's good because they'll get to finish the show properly. But it's a shame because we won't get to continue the story week to week like we have for these first 5 episodes. But good with the bad. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to know your various thoughts, opinions, theories, everything like that in regards to this episode. What you enjoyed the most? Very curious to hear what you guys have to say. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, it would be awesome if you could chuck a like on it to show your support for the video, the show, all of that. But of course, last episode, Haywire was a fairly big episode in regards to introducing X-Kryptonite. We saw Tag Harris get affected by it with the big reveal at the end of the episode that it's what's in the minds. And that's exactly why Morgan Edge is here. And we're wondering where it's going to lead going further. And this episode sort of, stretches out that storyline as well. And it's obviously going to be a big player going forward. Now, this episode pretty much centers around the Harvest Festival and a couple of areas like the donating as well as just like the event itself at night, if you want to call it. And we do see the Kents preparing, or the Kent family preparing for the Harvest Festival. I did find it funny when Clark was freaking out about potentially getting some chocolate bacon into him once again. I'm not too sure about that. I know, caramelized bacon with the brown sugar and stuff is nice, but chocolate bacon? I don't know. Anyone had it? Let me know if you had. Is it nice? But one of the big slaps in the face early on to someone in the Kent family is with Jonathan's girlfriend, Eliza, who we saw on the computer screen in the first episode. She's meant to come to Smallville. They planned it. She's going to come for the Harvest Festival. Sounds like a nice time, but unfortunately for Jonathan, Eliza dumps him over the phone just before she is meant to come, which is, if you were in your 20s or something, that'd be like, seriously? That's how you're going to do it? But I know it seems like a typical teenager thing. Surprised it wasn't through a text message. Or like a Facebook message, a Snapchat. Like, that seems like it would have been with a teenager. So maybe it's a bit inaccurate. I don't know, but a bit of a slap in the face to Jonathan. Now, Sharon Powell from episode 3 returns, and I was like, okay, what are you doing back here? And that's because she's actually found her son, Derek, who she was after. Big mystery, and him showing up is very convenient for Morgan Edge and what's going on there. But Derek just doesn't have a full recollection of events and just what's going on. Just doesn't seem all there. Even just by his look, he looks a bit disheveled. Something weird is going on with him, and that's exactly what's going on. Now, one thing I was very excited to see when it started playing out was we had flashbacks to a young Clark Kent in Smallville, almost like we had the adventures of Superboy almost going on. I was surprised that maybe he wasn't wearing an S on his chest or some sort of symbol, but it's pretty much just a typical early vigilante thing, black, like a ski mask and black clothing, everything like that. But yeah, just some simple Superboy stuff as you expect in the early days of Smallville. But we also learned at this time that Lana was with Kyle in Clark's younger days. That explains potentially why Lana and Clark never got together. Or maybe they did, and Kyle wasn't too happy about that and holds a grudge. We might find out in more flashbacks. But Derek Powell, we learn, has heat vision. So he's a person affected by X-Kryptonite. And we learn that he's actually on the phone to Leslie La, who is the other person we saw with the heat vision and Morgan Edge's right-hand woman, if you want to call her. He causes this massive fire in the community hall, pretty much ruins Harvest Day in regards to the donations that they've got. Now, Clark comes to the rescue. Now, I was very surprised he came in just his Clark thing. I thought it would have been interesting if he put on a ski mask like his younger version did. I'm surprised they didn't do that. Does anyone else think they maybe should have done that? Because he could have exposed himself, especially just if one of the firefighters caught him. So I thought it would have been a cool, sort of thing. Like, they show him in his younger days with the ski mask on. So maybe he does something where he puts a ski mask on in the present day as well. Maybe I guess there was no time. I don't know. But I think that would have been pretty cool if they did that. Now, one thing that was surprising, because I didn't watch the promo for this episode, is that Captain Luthor is in Smallville. When he was in the van, I was like, oh, okay. And he's got some surveillance on Lois Lane. And I was wondering the angle they were going for. I sort of guessed what it would be once he approached Lois and he was pretending to be a tech reporter. It's like, are they going to do this because of like the alternate Earths and stuff, different things on his Earth compared to this one? Has a decent interest in Lois Lane, knows a lot about her. So it's like, are they going to go this angle? And of course, we'll get to it and they go down that angle. But yeah, so I'm intrigued to see the angle they go with in this show with Captain Luthor for the rest of the season, because we still got 10 episodes after this. So I wonder where they're going to go with him. I'm intrigued. Now, Jonathan in this episode is just over Smallville. Of course, he's just been dumped by his girlfriend, slapped, everything like that. And I did like them showing the parallels through flashbacks with like Clark's frustration with his mother, Martha, putting him on like a leash, I guess you could say, in regards to the use of his powers and his development as what would later be Superman. I did enjoy that, and it even follows up with like Jonathan getting drunk at the Harvest Festival, getting a pass by his father one time. Well, this one time, even though Lois seems a bit more frustrated than Clark, and just because Clark knows what's Jonathan's going through, like being put on that leash. Now, Clark makes a different decision. He leaves Smallville at a time. This is what Jonathan wants to do, and Clark feels he made the choice that felt selfish, but it was the right thing for him to do. Now it's going to be interesting to see I keep getting them mixed up, Jonathan's progression over the next few episodes in regards to how he feels, because the main thing is really just football. Like, he's not going to go back to Smallville and all of a sudden that girl's going to go back. I know she might, but I know I wouldn't. If someone did that to me, I wouldn't be like rushing back to just be there for that specific one person. But like I think Jonathan will get used to Smallville and start enjoying it. But, will he start getting powers as well? And that might make him think that Smallville's the right place to be. We'll have to wait and see. Now, we learned that Leslie Lar and Derek Powell are a thing. They're hooking up, kissing, getting it on. But Leslie places Derek in this, like, it almost looks like a thing that you get, like, you need like a CT scan or something like that. But it's like a machine to potentially help him. Now, we didn't see it at first, but once Superman gets there, we find out that it's actually powered by the pod thing that we saw Morgan Edge with, or find at the beginning of last episode in Canada, I think it was, where he found it. So that's powering it. Now, they don't really explain it, so I'm sure we'll learn more about that in episodes to come. But Chrissy Beppo is luckily on the scene, is able to alert Lois, which in turn also alerts Clark or Superman about the whole thing going on there. I don't think a lot of people are going through that process, but maybe, I know some are. I'm not too sure. I'm sure we'll learn more. We've still got 10 episodes until the end of the season, so there's a lot more story to tell. But I wonder what that pod thing is exactly. I'm curious about that pod. But the Superman versus Derek scene, I guess you could chuck in Captain Luthor. So it's Superman versus Derek versus Captain Luthor, I guess. And Derek is like sort of like shaking, like Tag Harris from last episode, and burns up and dies, which is pretty crazy. Now, I don't know if that's due to like I'm trying to think of like the word to use, but like an unlawful use of X-Kryptonite, if that makes sense, or he was just the first test subject. Like, he was the first one that was able to maybe have powers and go out and not just like combust and die normally. Maybe like if you just put them on them, people just die all of a sudden. Maybe Derek was one of the people that was actually able to withstand it a bit, but still had some massive side effects as we saw. So it'd be interesting to see how X-Kryptonite works and whether, like, I'm sure Leslie was maybe the first one, but then again, they might not make it that she was the first one. She's just someone that knows about it. We'll have to wait and see what they do in regards to the comic book accuracies to the storyline. But yeah, the X-Kryptonite thing, it seems like it's going to be heating up, and I do wonder whether everyone just gets the same powers or if it's specific things, because Tag Harris appears, and we'll talk about that in a second, but with Tag Harris, like, it just seems like he has super speed. But maybe it develops like how we saw like Clark would have. So you develop super speed, then you develop like super strength, and then blah, 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 and then all of a sudden you can fly. Maybe that's how it develops, but if you don't develop properly, then you turn into what happened with Derek, where you're sort of out of control and you burn up and die. We'll have to wait and see what happens there, but I'm sure there's a decent storyline that will play out. I did like the moment in the episode where we have that bench in Smallville that's that Martha Kent used to sit on all the time, and it's honored, in her name. And they even say that she's the best of Smallville. And it goes forward to a flashback to the time that Clark actually leaves Smallville to start his journey outside of the persona of Clark Kent. Now, they have said that there's going to be more flashbacks throughout the show, or that the flashbacks will be a decent chunk of the show, so we'll see more than this. I'm just interested if we see like early Clark in like Metropolis and his first days as Superman and stuff. That'd be fairly cool. Now, the Captain Luthor surprise is not really a surprise. For some, it might have been, but I think once you saw him talking to Lois, it may have given you an inkling, and that's that he was actually not only like in a relationship with Lois on his Earth, but actually married. And it makes you wonder: did that Earth Superman kill Lois Lane? I wonder if that's going to be something that might happen there. That'd be very interesting. But it seems like Lois Lane, or maybe she did. Maybe she did have a relationship with that Earth Superman early on before he went evil. I'm not too sure. We'll have to wait and see. But there's connections everywhere. But yeah, the ending of the episode was Jordan leaving Sarah's place, and he actually gets attacked by Tag Harris, who is angry at Jordan for what happened to him. And that's what I was saying before. Like, Tag hasn't got like the red eyes, flying stuff. He just got super speed, and it seems some super strength as well. So I'm wondering if it's a progression thing, or you just get certain abilities from the X-Kryptonite. Like, it's not like just a basic, everyone gets this, but you got to develop. Or if it's just like this person gets super speed, this person becomes like Kryptonian almost, this person becomes, this person or something, or this ability and stuff. So intrigued to see how it works exactly. I'd assume it's just going to be everyone gets the same thing because it makes them like overpowered army of like very similar powered people. But maybe it differs from person to person and exactly how you're affected by X-Kryptonite at the time. So we'll learn, I guess. Overall, this is probably... It's not in my top episodes of what we've had so far, but it was a very like just fleshing out characters episode almost and setting some stuff up. So it was still good. It's still good. I enjoyed it. I don't really have any major nitpicks. It just sort of flowed like a normal episode. There wasn't any like bang, bang, bang moments. It just flowed like a standard episode. But sometimes that's good. Sometimes that's good. And it ended off with some interesting stuff that I'm intrigued to see it play off from. Unfortunately, we have to wait like 2 months until we can get that because of the big break. So they can actually finish the episode. So it's a bit of a wait, but hopefully it's worth it. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show your support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on this episode of Superman and Lois. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let me know all your thoughts down there. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.